the Boise State transfer. He's going to be a deep threat for TCU all year long.
Nate McCashlin with the kickoff. And that'll be fair catch made. It'll come out to the 25-yard line for Abilene Christian. Want to apologize for some of the technical difficulties we had on that opening drive. Hopefully you saw most of it, because it was an impressive strike and move down the field. As Sonny Dykes going for his 100th career win here tonight, his 4th season at TCU. Of course, the 2022 National Coach of the Year when he took the Horned Frogs to the championship game. Jordan Vaughn, the running back for Stone Earl, the 6th-year senior quarterback in his 2nd go-around at Abilene Christian. And the handoff and fighting his way forward is Jordan Vaughn. And the transfer from Wyoming on the 2nd effort got about 6, maybe 7 yards, and he just wouldn't go down.
That's exactly what you need here. 6'3", 235. He's a load to bring down. You saw it right there.
Vaughn already a couple of touchdowns for Abilene Christian this season. 1-1. Lost their opener at Tulsa. And then a really good win at home last week against Stephen F. Austin. From the pocket off his back foot, a high throw for a short catch. And it's Jet Castles going up the ladder to bring it down for the Wildcats, to bring up 3rd and short. But Stone Earl is kind of that unorthodox delivery.
Yeah, and again, he's a dual threat guy. He's going to probably hurt you a little bit more with his feet. And when you're an underdog like this, too, that's how you're going to win some games, right? You get a couple chunk plays off a nice scramble, and even picking up these. This is a perfect example. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, maybe scramble a little bit and extend these drives.
They have to stay ahead of the chains tonight. In motion, Eddie Henry, the tight end, and they'll run it straight ahead. And a 1st down for Jordan Vaughn for Abilene Christian. And that'll move the sticks for the guys in white. Jamel Johnson on the tackle for TCU. And that opening game, Todd, I know they lost 35-7 to Tulsa. That doesn't indicate, though, the way that game went, that opener for the Wildcats.
That's exactly right. I mean, they had 2 drives where they got all the way down to the 1-yard line and was unable to punch it in. And you're right, the score wasn't indicative about how that game went, and neither was the second one. I mean, it was 28-20, but it should have been 41-20.
Stone Earl under pressure, tries to escape and goes down. His sack back inside the 30. Marcus Deal, the sack for the Horned Frogs.
You're going to see it here. A lot of pressure coming on in. The little TE, that little stunt. Big Paul Oyewale. And you see Marcus Deal, the younger brother of Devin Deal. The Deal brothers on the D-line. Roommates, brothers, companions here this evening.
2nd and 17 for the Wildcats after the sack. Back at the 31 of ACU.
You just mentioned it, Roxy. They got to stay ahead of the chains. Especially on the road like this, hostile environment.
Abilene Christian has called their first timeout of the half. Timeout.
Timeout. They want to talk things over before a 2nd down and 17. 7-0. Josh Hubert, early touchdown pass for TCU.
You'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more. First, you'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
Get all of ESPN college football in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. After the timeout, the sack moving Abilene Christian back to the 31. Second down 16 for Stone, Earl and company. And Earl the play action over the middle, and it's complete. And it's Dallas Dudley with a catch, and he pushes out across the 40-yard line to bring him a manageable third down.
That's a huge play right there. That RPO, stick it in the belly of running back, and then hit that little slant route backside. You see the linebackers flying up. Even the safety thread it right behind them. It's Dallas Dudley, transfer from North Texas.
Gain of 12, 3rd and 4. Jet Castle's motions. And they'll run it on 3rd and 4, and brought down shy of the line to gain Jordan Vaughn. And 4th down and 2, an interesting decision for Keith Patterson. It appears they're going to punt.
It looks like he might have had that cutback. Great job sealing it down. Like Nambi Abiazor right there. He's a special kid. JUCO kid, came from Iowa Western Community College, All-American actually.
Hugo Nash will punt, the Aussie, on the rollout. It's a short end-over-end kick that does take an Abilene Christian bounce inside the 25, and the Wildcats will down it. And TCU getting the ball back up 7-0. And the defense stiffens and forces the punt. Just a 32-yard punt from Nash, and TCU with the ball. And last season, this was their offense. And Todd, they were one-dimensional last year. They're looking for more balance, and they're looking to establish the run and be more physical at the line.
And you need to do that if you're going to be successful in the Big 12, especially as the season progresses. You're right. I mean, you got to be more balanced. You got to be able to run the rock, play some play action off of that. And time of possession, I think, is huge right there, right? I mean, 105th in the country in time of possession. They got to change that up here this season.
And they have a very challenging schedule to navigate through this year. Josh Hoover, pump fake, takes a deep shot down the sideline, and it's incomplete for Jordan Dwyer, the Idaho transfer, who had a very good season at the FCS level for the Vandals, where he was a second-team All-Big Sky performer, and Hoover just overshot him there.
It's a heck of a job by Tyson Williams, the corner there for Abilene Christian. That's a tough position to be in, man-to-man coverage.
Here is Kavorian Barnes, tripped up, trying to step through the line. And he picks up about 4 to bring up third down. Rashawn Miles Jr., the first man there, the leading tackler for this Abilene Christian defense, tripped him up.
And one thing that you're going to get with this defense by Nick Holt is intensity, passion. And the players just feel it from his leadership.
Pressure coming, it's picked up to the outside. Manjack the catch and a first down as Hoover hit him on the move and fights his way out across the 40-yard line.
I just love Manjack. You know, he's one of the veteran receivers. Look at him, no gloves, old school, man. Just a hard-nosed dude, gets the extra yardage.
First down to the 42, pump fake Hoover. Over the middle, too high, and it's nearly picked off as Jordan Dwyer, the intended target. Tyson Williams in coverage.
Josh is lucky right there. That wasn't picked. And he had Jordan wide open, kind of in the slot. Quite sure if it was a timing issue. Jordan might have throttled it down a bit, but that ball just came out a little high.
2nd and 10. For TCU at the 42-yard line. TCU team that went 9-4, winning the New Mexico Bowl last year. A 9-win season for Sonny Dykes, and dumping it off is Barnes. The catch turns toward the sideline, and he barrels into Abilene Christian territory, and another TCU first down.
That's a perfect example of what we were talking about during the opener, Roxy, about the development of Josh Hoover. Instead of trying to force something downfield that was, well covered, he drops it down to his running back. Phenomenal job by Barnes to be able to spin out of that, pick up a big chunk of yards.
We were talking to Sonny Dykes yesterday and Kendall Briles. Embrace the suck is what they said in terms of
the boring,
check
right?
down, the boring,
right? Yeah.
You don't have to make the big play every play,
and it's so hard as a quarterback, right? You don't want to throw the ball away. You don't want to check it down. You want to make a big play.
They run for a first down straight ahead. Kavorian Barnes moves the sticks again for the Horned Frogs.
And that's the difference right there, Roxy, right? Now you're moving the sticks right here. As opposed to being at 3rd and 10, that's a difficult down as opposed to 3rd and 3.
Tunnel screen. Ed Small, the freshman, picks his way down to the 40. But you're seeing the rhythm early that Hoover in this Horned Frog offense has found.
Yeah, Ed Small actually is going to go to Texas to play baseball. Changed his mind late. Made a good decision right there on the tunnel screen.
Now Small motions to the outside. Out of the backfield. DJ Rogers, the tight end, is upended. But a TCU first down.
Jocelyn Molaska coming up. A nice little pop here. That's a big dude coming straight at you. He goes low. Gives a little stare down.
9th play of this drive already. He's approaching 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Josh Hoover throws for the outside, and it's caught. The adjustment Jordan Dwyer makes along the sideline. 1st and goal, TCU.
Unbelievable. The back shoulder fade, just deadly. Against bump and run coverage right there. Good outside release. Pushes off a little bit. Makes the catch. And this kid is special. Coaching staff just raved about him. Once he gets on the football field, he just changes. He's a baller.
Hoover rolling out. Throws for the end zone. Diving! Waiting for a signal. Yes! Touchdown TCU! Ed Small! First career touchdown for the freshman.
That was no small feat right there for him to be able to collect that ball without it hitting the ground. He secured it. This is the freshman. What a great first touchdown for the freshman. Look at that. I don't know how he corralled that without it bouncing away with his left hand. Boy, 2 catches on this drive, and imagine his family in the crowd right now just absolutely going berserk.
Making the trek here from Austin as Ed Small with a diving catch. The call is upheld. It is a touchdown, and now Nate McCashlin for his 2nd extra point. But what a start for TCU.
My goodness, making plays all over the place, and it's the little things too, right?
2 long drives. McCashlin makes it 14-0 Horned Frogs. Hoover is 8 of 10 for 122 and 2 touchdowns. TCU playing outstanding in their home opener. Josh Hoover's numbers so far: 2 touchdowns on 2 drives and a 14-0 lead, and a tremendous groove for Josh Hoover. 6 different receivers, Todd, he has used.
Well, that was going to be a big question, right? You lose Jack Besh and Savion Williams to the NFL. Who's going to replace that production? But I'm going to go back to that decision on 2nd and 10 to drop it down to Barnes. Because for me, as an old school quarterback, I always want to go down the field. I never want to check it down. And those are the little things that go unseen on a night like tonight where they extend that drive.
Make the boring plays.
That's it.
And that kept the drive going as Sam Bassesi now kicking off for TCU. And a fair catch made by Adrian Baltrip. It'll come out to the 25 for Abilene Christian. But this was that last drive for Josh Hoover.
Yeah, again, there it is right there. Nice little check down. Barnes, beautiful move to make it more of a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. And you see here, what a back shoulder fade. Jordan Dwyer, who's been so productive. You got Ed Small, a couple catches on that drive, including that ridiculous touchdown grab. Secures it with the left hand. Beautiful.
Already 150 yards of total offense for TCU. Abilene Christian will run it on 1st down with Jordan Vaughn straight ahead. Nothing there. And the defensive front, and that's one thing, talking to the coaches at TCU yesterday, Todd, the physicality at the point of attack was maybe the most impressive thing as far as Sonny Dykes was concerned from that opening game against North Carolina.
Well, in every area, right, they wanted to improve from last season to this season, where it was in the weight room, what they did from a defensive line perspective, all across the board. It's like whatever we have to do to be able to stop the run and be more physical on the line of scrimmage, we're going to do it.
2nd and 10 for Stone Earl. He throws a deep ball down the sideline, adjusting in midair, and it's broken up, but there's a flag down. Javon McIver Jr. was in coverage, and the deep ball intended for Javon Gibson for Abilene Christian, the Baylor transfer. Early in the season, one of the favorite targets for Stone Earl.
It's always tough. Yeah, you're going to see it right here. It's always tough when that ball is kind of underthrown a bit. You're in man-to-man coverage. If you don't get your head back, you're going to get called all day long that early. It's just a tough position to be in as a defensive back. And McIver does the best he can, but it's a big penalty, actually, to extend this drive.
Moves it out to the 40, 1st down for the Wildcats. Stone Earl escapes, and the high throw is hauled in. Jed Castle's the 2nd catch for the Abilene Christian tight end. And just shy of a 1st down and just shy of midfield.
Jed Castle's with his 25th start in his ACU career.
Began his college career at Texas Tech. And 2nd team All United Athletic Conference last year was Castle's, as E.J. Wilson runs for a 1st down into Horned Frog territory for the Wildcats.
I'll tell you what, that was a good example of Stone Earl, what he brings to the table as a starting quarterback. We talked to Graham Harrell about the quarterback competition, and he said, you know, when it came down to it, he was just a guy that would move the chains in preseason. Somehow he put points on the board. Wasn't always pretty, but he did it. He extended drives. That was a good example right there.
And it was a 3-way competition to win the starting job at Abilene Christian. Earl looking, buying time, then throws back across the field, and a short game to Eddie Henry, and he is brought down right near the line of scrimmage, and it's McIver making the play for TCU. But it was Stone Earl, Cade Fennegan, the BYU transfer, and then Quade Hawkins in that 3-way battle. All seniors.
Yeah.
You knew 2 guys were going to be very frustrated they didn't win the job.
Well, it was kind of back and forth, I think, in training camp, right, where one guy gets a leg up maybe 1 week, and then next thing you know, the momentum shifts, and Stone earns the job.
Here's Earl keeping it, powers his way straight ahead. And we talked about it earlier with Stone Earl. Started at Abilene Christian, and now he's back. Played his first 2 years for Abilene Christian. Then went to North Texas for a couple of years, 1 year at Marshall, and now is back at ACU.
His return trip. think recently married, right? Comes back, has seen it, has done it, has matured, has grown in his characters, consistency.
Like John Bon Jovi saying, who says you can't go home?
I knew that was coming out sometime. I love it.
3rd and 7, and the dump off. And it's E.J. Wilson Jr. tripped up. Good play in space by McIver. And it brings up 4th down, and we'll see what Keith Patterson and the Wildcats do here. 4th and 4 at the TCU 40.
It's a heck of a play by McIver. Anytime you got a big old back after he catches a check down, it's a tough play to make. And as a corner, you know, we always talk about you got to make sure you cover, but nowadays you got to be able to tackle and cover. And that's a perfect example of both.
Playing it conservatively on 4th and 4. Abilene Christian will punt with Hugo Nash, trying to pin the Horned Frogs back. The fair catch made and backpedaling, and the catch is made by Jordan Dwyer inside the 10. And it'll be at the 7-yard line where Josh Hoover and the TCU offense goes back to work after a 33-yard punt from Hugo Nash. With 47 seconds left in this opening quarter, and you look at how dominant TCU was in Chapel Hill on Labor Day night. And that 48-14 win after getting down 7-0, scored 41 straight points. But they outgained North Carolina 542 to 222 in that game.
It's unreal. I mean, Josh Hoover caught a vibe, he caught a rhythm, and the running game, I think, helped out, right? I mean, when you got a strong running game, it just takes so much pressure off a quarterback. It allows Josh to do what he does best, and he talked about it, man. It's just, he's a different player.
Here's Jeremy Payne now in a running back. Play action from Hoover, pumps, throws over the middle open. Eric McAllister racing out across the 40-yard line. Hoover had time as TCU is outgaining Abilene Christian 200 to 40 in total offense. A little trickery and the handoff, and it's Jeremy Payne skipping it to the outside. Breaking tackles is Payne down the sideline into the red zone.
Wow. Talk about a stiff arm. I think he had 2 right there that were devastating. Take a look at the replay. Nice little cut back right here. Gets outside. Look at the stiff 1. Give me a stiff 2. Boy.
Sophomore from Missouri City, Texas. And the first carry tonight for Trent Battle. And Battle gets to the outside, and he drags tacklers with him to the sideline.
Well, they like to use a lot of running backs. I mean, against North Carolina, I mean, there was a plethora of carries to be distributed. 4 different running backs.
And Kendall Bryles telling us there's going to be 5. We're going to get 5 into the rotation tonight. We're determined because we like what each of those guys brings to the table. 2nd and 3 for Hoover. And he'll hand it off, and this is Nate Palmer on the carry. And Palmer may have lost a little bit back to the 10. Rather, that was Jeremy Payne, the ball carrier, not Palmer.
It's one good thing. If you have that type of depth at the running back position, it's really nice because you keep them fresh, right? Running backs, they want to get a lot of touches, get in a groove, and that's all good. But at the same time, you want to be able to keep their stamina up. So when you have the luxury of that type of depth, that depth, that's kind of beautiful to have.
3rd down, and they'll run it through the line. Breaking a tackle, lunging for the goal line, and he's just short. Hard-nosed running from Trent Battle, 1st and goal.
I thought he scored right there, Roxy. That's impressive. I mean, it's just one after another. Barnes, Battle. Look at this. Nice little seam right there. Again, veteran offensive line.
Into the end zone. Trent Battle, touchdown TCU.
Barnes, Payne, now Battle. His 1 carry against North Carolina was a touchdown. Here he gets touchdown number 2 on the season.
Shaking up Horned Frog is Ben Taylor Whitfield, the right tackle, who's slow, limping off toward the sideline. But their 3rd consecutive long drive.
Steady, mature. You see it.
93 yards and 7 plays this time in just 2:37.
I hope Whitfield's okay. I mean, we talked to the coaching staff, and he said he's got first-round pick type talent and can ill afford to lose him.
Nate McCashlin kicking, and the extra point, and he's 3 for 3 in the first 3 kicks of his career. TCU steamrolling right now, up 21-zip. Three long drives, 3 touchdowns for TCU, and here is the last one, a 93-yard drive for Sonny Dykes' guys.
Yeah, starts off with a long run, and they needed to establish the run game this season, and you see it on this drive. I mean, it's one running back after another, physical, stiff arms, low in the shoulder. The offensive line creating the space. Talented running back room here for TCU. They're flashing hit this evening.
3 for 3 on touchdowns with their drives. The Horned Frogs have gone 88, 77, and now 93 yards, racking up 243 yards of total offense. They've already outgained Abilene Christian by more than 200 yards, and we played a quarter and a minute 50.
Yeah, talking to Coach Dyke, too, he talked about that his team's healthy, and that's another big one, right? Healthy up front, healthy in the running back room. You saw it there on that drive.
This will be returned by Radrion Balltrip, and he's brought down across the 15-yard line, and TCU keeps Abilene Christian pinned back. But when you look at keeping guys healthy and fresh, Todd, this is just the second game for TCU. This is week 3, but for TCU, along with Notre Dame and Air Force coming into this weekend, the only teams at the FBS level that have played just one game.
Yeah, it's super interesting, and the health, not just from training camp, but to your point, through week 1. And now it's interesting. You have this like long stretch between games. And as we were talking with the coaching staff, they were saying they're itching to play, man. They're itching to hit someone else.
From the 18 into the outside and trying to get to the edge and hog-tied out of bounds. And a carry by E.J. Wilson Jr. for the Wildcats, and it was Max Carroll that escorted him to the Wildcats bench.
We saw a nice little sample from Jordan Vaughn. Now E.J. Wilson in the game. Let's see what he can do.
Pick up a 4, second down at the 22 for Stone Earl, who was 5 for 5, but just 25 yards through the air. Make it 6 for 6, and the catch made to the outside. It goes to J.J. Henry, the Ole Miss transfer. And this Abilene Christian team is littered with FBS transfers and Power 4 conference transfers.
Yeah, big time. And I think the question, like we said, is can they come together? Can Keith Patterson bring them together? And, you know, again, he preaches this all the time. It's funny, he gave us the illustration of the chemistry, right? About you put different things in the little flask and you don't want it to blow up. You want it to actually work.
3rd and 1 for the Wildcats. Stone Earl motioning is J.J. Henry. And they'll run it. And that is a first down. Some tough hard-nosed running up the middle by E.J. Wilson Jr. And he's a 3-time transfer. Temple, FIU, now at the FCS level, and Wilson gets the first down, the 4th first down. And this is year 4 for Keith Patterson, and they've been building this, not a program as he's talked about, the foundation.
Yeah, he talked about the difference in college football now where no longer building programs, right? You have your certain DNA, but you build teams. And losing 30 players from last season, 5 coaches.
Oh, spinning out of a tackle is E.J. Wilson, and he gets another first down for the Wildcats.
He's running hard, my goodness. He's not afraid to run into contact.
Well, when you play running back, you better not be afraid of contact.
You're not lying. Damn. 5'10", 220. Transfer in from Temple in the Tampa area.
Rovon Banks Jr. replaces him at running back from the 40, and the numbers for Earl, he's 7 for 7. But down 21-0. And the first carry and tripped up is Rovon Banks Jr. And he's not one of the plethora of transfers on this Abilene Christian squad. Short gain to bring up 2nd down, but huge step for Abilene Christian football last year. They won their first league title in almost 15 years, winning the United Athletic Conference Championship. And they won an FCS playoff game, beating Northern Arizona at home last year.
Yeah, first playoff game ever to win, and making strides, and that's for sure.
2nd down, Earl flushed out. Earl looking to run, tucks it, and he has a first down, stepping out of bounds past midfield. And that's the ability what Earl can bring for Abilene Christian and for Graham Harrell's offense.
Yeah, you take a look at Graham Harrell, the absolute stud from Texas Tech way back in the day. So many accolades, and going to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Had a great time visiting with him and hearing some more of his story. Parents both graduated from ACU, and brother played here as well. Just to come back, see some family, and he was talking about Stone Earl, and he said, man, this is what he does. He just extends drives with his wheels.
On first down in TCU territory, Earl looking downfield, and it is juggled and incomplete. Trying to make the lunging catch was J.B. Mitchell III, and it just eluded his fingertips, incomplete.
I tell you what, that was a heck of a shot, man, downfield. You're going to see it, a nice little RPO, kind of little stroll package to the left. And he put it right on his hands. Would have been a really tough catch, but check this out, right in his hands for J.B. Mitchell III. It's not easy to do as a right-handed quarterback as you're strolling to the left.
2nd down, and it's E.J. Wilson Jr., the ball carrier. And that was the 8th play of this drive already in terms of plays, the longest drive for Abilene Christian in this one.
Yeah, they definitely needed it. Give their defense a blow. Jordan Vaughn back into the game. Starter, transfer from Wyoming. Again, big guy, 6'3", 235. Ran the 200 and the 400 meter in high school. So if he breaks one, he has the ability, he has the speed to break the chunk play.
TCU showing blitz here on 3rd down. Stone Earl. Pressure picked up, and the slant, it's caught, first down and more. Racing up the field, penalty marker is down as Javon Gibson bursting down the field, and Abilene Christian's biggest play of the night.
And they might have an offensive pick play here. Offensive pass interference is typically what happens, because you got that nice little pick kind of slant behind it. I think that's what happened. It looked like Javon Gibson just got open late.
You never used that, did you?
Never, not one time. We didn't need it. We didn't need it. We could get off the ball, no problem.
Pass interference, offense, 15-yard penalty, third down.
Yeah, there was a reason why he was so open.
If you take a look at the right side of your screen right here, you see it. He kind of, I don't know, man.
I'm with you.
I don't know
about that call.
I don't know if I call that because there wasn't really contact.
The defenders ran into each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. And that's a big penalty right there.
Wipes out a 33-yard play. You go 15 yards the other way.
A lot of momentum.
Third and Arlington to go. Earl, the deep ball down the sideline, and it is caught. First down. Big play for the Wildcats, and it's J.B. Mitchell III wrestling it away.
Unreal. Unbelievable. I mean, makes sense though. That's just good karma right there.
From the 29 pump fake, now Earl will run. And the leaping defender made Earl tuck it. But a 32-yard completion to get the first down for the Wildcats.
Unreal. I mean, he just launches it up. And J.B. Mitchell, he was the guy that dropped that corner route earlier. Makes probably the biggest play of the game so far because man, if you don't pick up that first down right there, down 21 zip, we could get out of hand here real quick.
And that was not bad coverage from Vernon Glover. He was right there with him.
That's right.
2nd and 7. And they'll run it. And behind the left side goes E.J. Wilson Jr. Runs into Jonathan Bax for TCU to bring up third down.
E.J. Wilson again, the transfer from Temple, and 5'10", 220, fifth-year senior. Running hard this evening.
Stone Earl now 8 for 9 through the air. 3rd and 4 at the 23 of the Horned Frogs. As Abilene Christian desperate for points. Down 21-0 just past midway point of quarter 2. Earl under pressure. Sack wrapped up and brought down. Andy Obi-Izor, the sack for TCU.
What a great play call here. Defensive coordinator, nice little blitz right up the front. And I'm not sure if that was a little mix-up on the offensive line, but Andy Obi-Izor, boy, he is a special guy, as mentioned. All-American in the JUCO ranks, but then comes up and proves himself that he can play with the big boys. 2nd
sack for the TCU defense. And now Kyler Meskey on for a long field goal, a 49-yarder, trying to get the Wildcats on the board. The kick, it is no good. Pushed it to the right. Field goals have been an issue early in the season for Abilene Christian. As Kyler Meskey now 0 for 2 on the year. As Abilene Christian comes up empty. Josh Hoover and TCU up 21-0 on Abilene Christian. A couple of touchdown passes for Hoover, who has been so efficient here to start his night.
Absolutely. I mean, look at this bomb to Joseph Manjack IV. You see the back shoulder fade, Jordan Dwyer. He's been a great addition to this team. And then, of course, Chase Curtis, the oldest player on the roster. And then he went to the youngest guy, the freshman, with a beautiful catch. One-hander. How about that for your first collegiate touchdown?
Hoover tonight, 3 passes of 20 or more yards. Last season, he had 60 of 20 or more, which was 5th most in the country. And he's completed each of his last 7. And now they go empty as Kavorian Barnes gets split out 5 wides for Josh Hoover on first down. And he slings it over the middle. Ed Small to catch. And the freshman out to the 39.
How about the freshman getting all kinds of action here early? Again, originally was going to play baseball at Texas and changed his mind. I'd say that was a pretty good decision.
Kavorian Barnes racing to the outside, has the first down. Jordan Mukes tripped him up for Abilene Christian. But another TCU first down.
It was good vision, good patience right there. Sees some opening to the outside, and it's a good story. Again, the transfer UTSA finding a second opportunity here and maximizing it.
From the 43 for Josh Hoover. Play action. And he dumps it off. That's a lateral. It was a backward pass to Barnes, who skips it to the outside, takes a hit right near midfield before he's rocked out of bounds by Dorian Plumlee. But that's, again, part of the maturity process that Sonny Dykes and Kendall Briles have been preaching to Hoover.
That's right. And DJ Rogers, the tight end, will be the unsung hero on that play. He locks up a great block to be able to spring his running back for a nice gain.
And they blow the play dead. And Abilene Christian was trying to sub.
The previous play is under review for targeting.
They're going to review it for a potential targeting call against Abilene Christian.
Huh.
Now, targeting was not called on the field. It was called down from the replay booth.
It's interesting. Yeah, going back to DJ Rogers, the tight end, he was a 4-star coming out, eighth best tight end in the country according to 247 Sports. Take a look at the replay here. They're gonna say, oh, right here.
I don't see anything right there. I don't see any forcible contact.
Yeah, I don't see that. Oh, there at the very end there. Okay.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Second down.
And the right call. I didn't see anything that would warrant a targeting call here. Just over 4.5 to go until halftime. It's been all TCU. And the Horned Frogs on the move again. 3 long drives already for TCU. 88, 77, and 93 yards. Sonny Dykes' defense pitching a shutout so far in search of Sonny Dykes' 100th career win.
Coach Dykes has coached some of the best. Wes Welker, Gronkowski, Jared Goff. How about Jared Goff? He's got himself a pretty darn good quarterback here as well.
Hoover on the rollout. And coming back for it, Eric McAllister the catch, and he's rustled down in Wildcats territory. First down, TCU, 13 more for the Horned Frogs.
Eric McAllister, just a great player. See him just, that's a veteran move right there too. He sees his quarterback scramble, gets open. He's on the Biletnikoff Award watch list. And that's the reason why.
Last year, 90% of his receptions went for first downs. Deep ball, and he throws it too high for McAllister. And maybe the only poor throw we've seen from Josh Hoover over the head of his intended target.
Yeah, he's had a couple where the release point maybe just a hit high. 2 of them could have been picked, including that one. Real lucky, real fortunate that wasn't picked off.
2nd and 10 at the 39 of Abilene Christian. Hoover goes under center here. And the bubble screen, and it's Ed Small. And he gets taken toward the sideline by Tyson Williams. And he has been an active participant, the freshman in the offense, not just the touchdown catch, Todd, but they've included him in a lot of these design plays tonight.
Yeah, they really have. They really like this young man, and it's clear they want to get him involved, see what he can bring to the table. He's proved himself in practice. He's demanded field time, and you see it right here.
Already 4 catches and a direct snap. And barreling his way is Trent Battle for TCU, and he is just shy of the first down.
A little Wildcat wrinkle here this evening. Battle in there, see what happens.
4th and 1. An extra offensive lineman coming in is Remington Strickland. Checks in for the Horned Frogs. They're going to the big package here, and Keith Patterson will burn his second timeout ahead of this 4th and 1.
Abilene Christian has called their second timeout of the half. Timeout.
4th and 1 upcoming. TCU up 21-0 and on the move again. Sonny Dykes certainly has to be pleased with what he sees from his ball club so far. Loved what he saw in their opening win against North Carolina. It's continued here tonight. And I loved how Sonny just kind of bit his tongue and just bided his time while all the hype surrounding that opening game was about Bill Belichick and North Carolina. And then he finally opened up after the game, and he had every right to say what he said.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, overlooked. And sometimes it's nice because then you get a little extra incentive to your team in the locker room and say, hey, man, this is a player's game. You know, all respect to Coach Belichick. This is a player's game, though. You guys are the one who determine the outcome.
4th and short, they're going for it. Straight ahead. John Denman with the ball carry for the first time. And the running back gets the first down, and he gets a few more. He got 6 on 4th and 1.
Again, another freshman. So you mix a mature, wily vet group, couple transfers, ton of football experience. Now you add a couple of these freshmen in there. It's a nice mix to have.
The orbital motion from Jordan Dwyer. Great protection and the dump off. It goes to Dwyer toward the sideline. Nothing was open downfield, and again, that development, the patience that Hoover showed.
Well, and how quickly he went through his progression right there. From right to left, boom, 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 drops it down. And that's helpful for your offensive line, too, because your offensive line develops some trust in you as a quarterback that you're going through your progressions as you should, and now you build this relationship quarterback-offensive line.
We've reached a 2-minute timeout. TCU up 21-0, looking for more before halftime. TCU up 21-0 in their home opener after the win against North Carolina. And of course, the Iron Skillet matchup with SMU next week here in Fort Worth, the 104th meeting for the Iron Skillet.
Well, and this game, kind of a trap game too. You don't want to look ahead to that. You want to be able to come in, take care of business. They had such a long break, so to keep that focus and to be this sharp early in this game, pretty impressive.
And that's the first thing we asked Sonny Dykes when we talked to him yesterday. Second down, Josh Hoover. They'll run it with Kevorian Barnes through the line. Some shifty running inside the 15. And another first down for the Horned Frogs, but an injury on the field and slow to get up. That is Kevorian Barnes for TCU, the ball carrier.
It's a big gasp for this stadium right here because he's been such a huge part of this offense early in the season. Wide open, just a huge hole right there. Couldn't quite see what happened. He's reaching his lower hamstring, perhaps.
Clutching for the back of his left leg there. Here with a minute 52 left in the half. And there is Sonny Dykes. Their medical staff is checking on Barnes after the run. That's just shy of a first down, actually. They moved it back, so it's going to be 3rd and short. And there he is walking out the field under his own power. Very good sign.
Very, very good to see. You know, it's not just the running game, too, Roxy. It's pass protection, right? I mean, you know, for example, against North Carolina, their first touchdown, if he doesn't pick up that blitz, Josh Hoover doesn't have the opportunity, the vision to be able to deliver the strike to Jordan Dwyer in the end zone. So they can ill afford to lose him as a starting running back.
But just to finish the thought on Sonny Dykes in our conversation, Todd, yesterday about his concern about looking ahead and overlooking Abilene Christian. He wasn't sure exactly the way his team would come out. They practiced tremendously leading up to the North Carolina game. A little bit inconsistent leading up to this game, but they have responded, played great, and they find the end zone again. Second time for Ed Small tonight.
Ed Small. What a story. Young freshman coming in, making a decision to come here and play some football. Josh Hoover looks off the safety, throws an absolute bullet, the seam route from the slot. Ed Small playing big here this evening.
Third touchdown pass for Josh Hoover. 11 plays, 69 yards. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns for TCU, and now Nate McCashlin the extra point. 28-0 Horned Frogs. 84 seconds left until halftime. But over 300 yards of total offense. Hoover now 15 of 18 for 217 and 3 scores.
You're going to see it right here. Look the safety off. Nice little pump fake, and then just a laser to the young freshman. Great job, too, to secure the catch. I mean, this ball is coming in. You know you're going to get drilled by the safety. You say, I don't care, man. I'll go ahead and secure that for my second touchdown of the evening as a freshman.
The pass protection, you were alluding to it, Todd, and the confidence that Hoover has in the offensive line to sit there and go through his progressions and not feel hurried to get rid of the football.
I tell you, as a former quarterback, when you don't have an offensive line that gives you time, it just changes everything. In your mind, you can't just focus on your job. You're like, well, never know when I need to go bob and weave out of here. But when you have the comfortability to sit in the pocket, look off a safety, and then just go ahead and deliver a bullet into your young freshman, super refreshing. Actually ripped it in there.
Sam Bissesi will kick off. And he sends this one toward the corner of the end zone. It'll skip on through and out to the 25. And Abilene Christian will have just 1 timeout and 1:24 to try to get a score before halftime.
You know, one thing that the long drives do, it keeps your defense fresh. And you can see it. You see the defensive run on the field. They're like, man, it's been too long. I need to get back on the field. Get loose. Stone Earl, look at his numbers. I mean, 8 for 9. You'd think that he's playing bad or something, getting blown out 28 zip. He's had a really good game so far.
Rovon Banks Jr., the running back. And there is the short hitch route. It's complete, and a first down lunging forward out across the 35. And Dallas Dudley picks it up for Abilene Christian. There you see Kivorian Barnes heading into the locker room early for TCU, who's injured on that last drive. And through the line and a burst, and Rovon Banks Jr. knifes through for a first down.
A 2-minute drill. They get a little momentum here. First down stops the clock.
Pickup of 12. Again, this is Banks. And he is swallowed up by the TCU front. Ansel Denba, the first man there. The transfer from Washington State for the Horned Frogs.
Looks like Ansel's getting up a little bit gingerly here.
Loss of 1, second down. Stone Earl, the deep drop over the middle. It's caught and then dropped. Trying to haul it in was J.J. Henry, spinning with the football. And that stops the clock with 34 seconds left in the half. Keep in mind, Abilene Christian will receive the second half kickoff.
Yeah, he has it, but then Austin Jordan does a great job. You'll see it right here. That right arm punches it out right at the last minute. Maybe just a hit behind, but boy, that's an excellent play by Austin Jordan.
3rd and 11. TCU showing blitz. They were offside, a free play for the Wildcats, and the deep ball and adjusting for the underthrown ball. J.B. Mitchell III with the catch. And that'll be an offside flag on TCU. The play will give Abilene Christian a first down inside TCU territory, pickup of 24.
The second big catch on that back shoulder. J.B. Mitchell, the third, has made the
Offside defense, number 11. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
One timeout left for the Wildcats at the Horned Frogs 31.
Maybe that's just what they need to do. Just go 2-minute, man, the rest of the game.
No
I
huddle.
mean, they're flowing right now.
Quick to the line. Stone Earl's in a pretty good groove.
It's been pretty darn good all night, honestly. Against a stout TCU defense, he's made some plays. I'd be pretty proud of my return trip here. Back to my hometown, back at ACU. Extended some plays.
Fort Worth kid, Stone Earl. Now he'll take off and run. Trying to cut it to the outside inside the 25 and brought down. And the last time out for the Wildcats with 20 seconds left in the half, as Nnamdi Obiizor was the one who tracked him down for TCU. Second down upcoming, and the last time out, you're Keith Patterson and Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator, who interestingly is down on the field tonight. Had been up above in the press box the first couple of games calling the plays, but he's down on the field tonight. How do you handle this, Todd, the last 20 seconds? Again, no timeouts.
No timeouts. I mean, ideally, you want to get an out-breaking pattern, get out of bounds, right? If the defense is coming in a cover 2 shell, you might need to get something dropped inside that zone, but then you got to run up and you got to clock it right away to make it 2nd and 10. Ideally, though, if you look at the coverage, if I can get an out-break, even on cover 2, if I can get a corner route, maybe in the 2-hole, I would do that as well. And I'd probably go back to J.B. Mitchell the third. He's been the hot hand. Maybe put him on a nice little corner route, see what happens.
It's 2nd down and 4. Would you take a shot maybe for the end zone here?
I mean, you could. Absolutely. Why not? Why not? You got the coverage. Maybe up top, just bomb it deep.
Stone Earl looking. On the move, throws, and it's dropped. Incomplete for Jed Castles, who had his hands on it. Would have been a first down right near the 15-yard line.
That's textbook Stone Earl right there as well. You saw it. He just bounces out a little bit, extends the play, drops a bullet on Jed Castles. Should have secured that and got out of bounds for the first down.
Saw the play sheet there of Graham Harrell. Is that the tribute to Mike Leach? The short coupled up, folded over paper.
Yeah. Folded over a couple times, so yeah.
The connections run deep with both coaching staffs. Over the middle, and it's broken up. Lunging in there is Javon McIver Jr. getting his hand in. Front of the pass intended for J.B. Mitchell III, and it's 4th down.
Javon, really nice hat. He's had a nice evening so far as he lets you know, I'm locking this thing down. Again, I've been impressed with Stone Earl. He's made some plays. And that's been a problem for ACU. They've had some drop passes at inopportune times these first couple of games. You see it here again this evening.
Trying the different kicker, this is Brandon Perez, who also has kicked a couple of times this year for Abilene Christian. The left footer, a 42-yarder, and it is no good, and the field goal issues continue for Abilene Christian. Kyler Meskey missed earlier, and now pushing it wide was Brandon Perez, and with 4 seconds left in the half, TCU has the football up 28-zip.
They missed a couple in the previous game as well, a couple chip shots, and they got to get this figured out for the rest of their season.
In all likelihood, Josh Hoover will just take a knee here to end the half, but if you're TCU, you're Sonny Dykes, you're going to the locker room pleased with the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. People making plays really all over the field. I'm a little concerned about Barnes, but other than that, it's been just a fantastic first half.
Over 300 yards of total offense tonight, and Sonny Dykes has had to use a couple of kickers, and the second half is underway, and a fair catch is made. It'll come out to the 25 for the Wildcats. But for Keith Patterson and Abilene Christian, Todd, this second half, what is the message to your team? What are you trying to accomplish?
I mean, he said it. He's like, score, I don't really pay attention to the score. What I really want is effort. He said, I don't care about your talent. It's effort. You can bring your best effort. And the discipline too. These penalties and stuff, like, I'm looking for a clean second half. I'm looking for big effort, and the score will take care of itself.
They're getting ready for conference play, the United Athletic Conference. And the first down carry and a nice run by Rovon Banks. And he picks his way out near the first down, a gain of 9. But they're the defending conference champions. They're picked to come in second this year in the UAC. Tarleton was picked to win it in the preseason poll.
Yeah, I mean, they have some talent. You know, I think the major part is how will they gel as the season progresses? Will they stay healthy? And you got an offensive lineman dinged up right here, it looks like.
That's the right guard, Landon Roten. Maybe cramping up the way they're stretching out his right leg.
Okay, that's good.
He and his twin brother anchor the right side of the offensive line for the Wildcats. Luke Roten, they both transferred from Washington State, Texas natives, by the way.
That's been a big part too, right? I mean, if you're trying to build a roster, you lose 30 players, 5 coaches. What do? Well, a lot of times these Texas boys, they let's go see what happens. Want to be able to come back. Hey, let's give you an opportunity to come back home.
Doesn't work out somewhere else, you find a comfortable spot to come back. And Keith Patterson has outstanding support. By the way, we need to say happy birthday to Abilene Christian Athletic Director Zach Lassiter, who turned the big 5-0 today. But the support that Keith Patterson has from his administration to be able not only to get a coach of his quality, a long-time, strong-minded defensive coach, but you look at the 2 coordinators that he has, Graham Harrell running the offense and Nick Holt on the defensive side. Those are 2 high-level coordinators at an FCS school. Is tripped up and going down. It's a sack. Stone Earl tripped up by Ansel Denbach. And it's the 3rd sack for the Horned Frogs tonight.
Big Ansel, 6'3", 305. Tracking down Stone Earl, just barely clips his right ankle. Otherwise, Stone might have been off again.
And like the Roten twins on the offensive line for Abilene Christian, Denbach came from Washington State, so they went up against one another in practice for a few years up in
I've
Pullman.
Seen you before. Yeah, that's right.
But I was done with you. Straight ahead, it's Rovon Banks Jr., the ball carrier, and he nudges out across the 40 to bring up 3rd down. But Abilene Christian, milestones for Keith Patterson last year. They win a conference championship for the first time since 2010, since they were in the Lone Star Conference. They won a playoff game for the first time since 2008 when they won a Division II playoff game against West Texas A&M. They won that game. It's not basketball. 93-68, they won a football game.
It's gracious.
3rd and 7 for Stone
Zero
Earl.
defense.
Defense optional, wide open over the middle, and hitting the tight end, Eddie Henry in stride. First down, Abilene Christian, and a big play for the Wildcats.
How about that? Big Brian Henry, 6'2", 250. Down the seam, Earl just drops a bullet right in his hands. He keeps on rumbling and stumbling for a couple more.
First red zone trip for the Wildcats tonight, and a gain of 42 yards and a first down for Abilene Christian. Looking for their first points of the night. And upended, chopped down across the 15 as Jamel Johnson, the safety, comes up to take the legs out from Rovon Banks Jr. And it's 2nd down upcoming.
Yeah, Jamel Johnson led the team in tackles against North Carolina in the opener. 7 tackles. I was watching on tape, man. He's fun to watch on tape. He flies around. He's physical. I mean, right there, it looks like there's a pretty huge gap in that defense, and this is only a 3-4 yard pickup.
So last year, the Wildcats, they won that first-round playoff game against NAU, and then lost to eventual FCS national champion North Dakota State. They lost to the Bison up in Fargo. On the left flat, spun down, and a good play in space by Devin Neal for TCU. And a short gain goes to Banks out of the backfield, and it's 3rd down for the Wildcats.
Well, you see the athletic ability of Devin Deal right there. His defensive end position just kind of floats right back out and hits that check down. And a lot of times you hit that check down and you have something cooking. Not with Devin Deal there, that's for sure. Coaching staff love him. He's like another coach on the field.
We're definitely in 4-down territory the way the field goal unit has operated tonight for Abilene Christian. Up the middle and a big hole and fighting his way down to the 1. Rovon Banks Jr. 1st and goal, Abilene Christian. 10 more for Banks.
That's a heck of a job. I mean, look at that by the offensive line. Landon Roten, nice block up front.
And Banks into the end zone. Touchdown, Abilene Christian.
Impressive drive right there, man. I mean, come out, establish the ground game, and you see the sideline with a little energy. Defensive coordinator getting hype.
And a big key on that sequence there, Landon Roten, who looked like he was cramping, was back in helping open up those holes up the middle for Banks to run through. And now the extra point by Kyler Meskey, and another miss. Clanks it off the upright. No good. So the point after denied, 28-6 TCU. Nothing going right in the kicking game for Abilene Christian. But, Todd, they find the end zone.
They sure enough do. I mean, the offensive line, fantastic job giving Rovon in the end zone.
Last drive, and Abilene Christian, nice job, Todd, maneuvering down the field for the Wildcats.
I mean, look at the dart right there to Brian Henry. The big fella rumbling and stumbling with the 1st down, but hats off to the offensive line. Hard running by Rovon Banks Jr. Landon Roten, Luke Roten, the twins getting after it.
Keith Patterson's team getting some points, and for Banks, his 1st touchdown this season. 10th career, he had 5 as a freshman. Last year had a couple of touchdowns, and Banks, the junior from Tulsa, getting Abilene Christian some points. And that'll be Kyler Meskey to kick off. Sonny Dykes and the Horned Frogs giving up their first points here of the ball game on the first drive of the second half. This is Trent Battle bringing it up the right side for TCU, and he gets upended shy of the 25. Rather, John Denman on the return, the freshman, bringing the ball back. And we'll see if TCU can reestablish that rhythm, because in the first half, Todd, they were so in sync offensively.
They sure were, and you wondered if they were going to be able to carry what they did against North Carolina into this game with such a long, layoff, really. And their concentration in the first half was super impressive, and you're right. Can they continue with a foot on the gas here in the second half?
Without Kavorian Barnes and the handoff, it's Jeremy Payne for TCU. But the one thing I will say, between these two coaching staffs in the chess match, they know each other so well. They are intertwined when you look at the two sides and the connections. They run deep between Sonny Dykes' staff and Keith Patterson's staff.
That's so true. The chess game continues, right? And it's part of the game of football that I love, man. The X's and O's and the minds, and what do they think that they're going to do, and what coverage are they going to call against this certain down and distance, the tendencies. It's part of the intricacies of the game that a lot of times the average fan doesn't know what goes into it, and all the analytics.
That's Nick Holt, the defensive coordinator for Keith Patterson. He'll spend time at USC and a number of stops. Former head coach at Idaho is Hoover on 3rd and long, and he finds Joseph Manjack. Down the sideline, Manjack for TCU, and he's run out inside the 30. Big play for the Horned Frogs.
Well, you can take a look at it right here. Joseph Manjack's had a couple of huge plays. You saw that release, just dusted his defender to the corner route, and then a huge chunk play for TCU. And remember now, Joseph Manjack IV, the transfer from Houston, very productive receiver, old school, no gloves. He had that huge play in the first quarter, really, to get things cooking here.
Third catch over 100 yards now for Manjack, and straight ahead it's Jeremy Payne for TCU. And you mentioned him at Houston, but Manjack began his college career at USC.
Yeah.
Played 1 year for the Trojans.
He's an impressive athlete again. I mean, he's Mr. Reliable, and I think he's just continued to get better and better throughout his career. I think it's a great fit here at TCU. And remember now, TCU lost a couple super talented players at receiver, and so for them to get a guy like Manjack is huge.
Underthrown ball coming back for it. Touchdown, Jordan Dwyer for TCU. 21 yards and the 4th touchdown pass for Josh Hoover.
You saw Tyson Williams there complaining about the push-off and looking for the OPI, but not going to find it with a wily vet like Jordan Dwyer. What a ball by Hoover, man. That just glides out of his hand, back shoulder. Jordan Dwyer makes it look so easy, but the timing of that's reps in camp, and getting brand new receivers on the same page with a quarterback, quite impressive here at TCU.
5 plays, 75 yards, the extra point, and it's knocked through by Nate McCashlin. TCU, their 5th touchdown tonight, up 35-6. Fourth touchdown pass of the night for Josh Hoover, 35-6. TCU has opened up that big lead on Abilene Christian here early in the third quarter. So a lot of new things here at Amon G. Carter Stadium this year, including this is like the social media sensation. We got our hands on a couple of these half-acre Korean corn dogs.
Look at this thing. It looks like a popsicle, like purple ice cream cone. I don't know, man. Looks like a lot of calories.
Like, sauce with it, you can see. I am so anxious to try this.
You and me both.
All right, we'll try it after the kickoff. After the score, TCU is now up 35-6. And it'll be Sam Bassesi kicking it off for the Horned Frogs. First off, thank you to the TCU staff for taking care of us, because
absolutely,
this has been like, these corn dogs have been the social media sensation. They have over 1.3 million imprints with this corn dog.
And
that'll be a touchback. All right. It'll be an Abilene Christian ball at the 25 after the touchback. All right, you gonna take the first bite, Todd? What do you think? You're on this thing first. I have to do some talking here.
I was hungry, man. I was hungry, so I'm just gonna go for it.
I've been starving myself all day because I knew one of these was coming.
My, what is that?
And?
Unbelievable.
Hold on, you need a napkin. Because it does get a little, it can get a little messy.
Oh my goodness.
That good, huh?
Wow. And sweet.
Pass on first down, and the adjustment, the catch is made, and Abilene Christian with another first down. And their offense found something at halftime, because that first drive of the second half was sharp from them. And now Dallas Dudley with a catch to move the sticks again for the Wildcats.
I thought Stone Earl had a really good first half as well. We're getting a rhythm here pretty early here in the second half.
You put that thing down yet? On the ground, Rovon Banks Jr., the ball carrier, bursts through the line, gets to the second level, and he's into TCU territory. Some more hard-nosed running from Banks.
Yeah, he's running hard. That's exactly right, and it's all about effort for him. You can just tell he's 100% all the time. Nice little cutback right there. Running into contact. Darn near broke that.
17 yards at the 43 of TCU. Stone Earl. Motion man is J.B. Mitchell the third. And the misdirection, now he'll run. And then he stumbles, looked like the turf monster got him. He had some room to run.
Yeah, he had a little room to run, but he also had that wheel route there that developed late. Wasn't able to find him. That's always tough, because that could have been a big play right there. He'll see that on film. Easy for me to say. I'm up in the booth, but might have had J.B. Mitchell third for a big play.
Did get 3, 2nd and 7 as Eddie Henry motions for the Wildcats. And Stone Earl will hand it off. And right up the middle, and some physical pad popping right there. And the ball carrier was Banks again for ACU, brings up third down.
Rovon Banks Jr., I've been impressed with, man. He runs hard, pretty patient. He's got that nice little wiggle right before he gets into contact. And that's what they need. They need to have some type of strong running game. Stay third, medium, that kind of stuff.
3rd and 6. Out of the backfield, swings it out, diving for the first down, and it is a first down, and it's Banks again. A steady diet of Rovon Banks Jr. for Abilene Christian.
He better be in shape, man, because he's hot right now. They're going to go back to him. Nice little swing pass. He kind of bobbled it a little bit, was able to secure it and dive forward for the first down.
At the 32 of the Horned Frogs. Earl will throw on first down. And underneath, and trying to claw forward for more. Again, it's Banks. And he's just shy of a first down, a pickup of 9, and they're quickly getting on the football.
This is the Banks show, man. He might need a little oxygen after this drive.
Play action, looking deep to the outside, and adjusting, and the catch is made. Jed Castles. And he was able to get away from Channing Canada. And those two were locked up, and Castles making the catch. And Abilene Christian, another first down.
I mean, look at that. Left hand just kind of grabs it at the very last moment. Jed Castles, 6'7", 245, the fifth-year senior. Transfer in from Texas Tech. Man, that was pretty impressive.
Second team all-league last year for Abilene Christian, 4 touchdowns a year ago.
I like how Stone Earl gave him a chance, right? Gave him a chance there late. Says, hey, man, I'm going to put it to a place where it's either you or it's going to be incomplete.
Timeout taken by Abilene Christian, but the Wildcats on the move at the 11. Graham Harrell's offense, they settled for a couple of field goal attempts, which they missed in the first half. But this is, it seems there's been a different focus with the Abilene Christian offense since halftime. They're talking things over before this 1st and 10, looking to find the end zone again, Abilene Christian. The Abilene Christian offense tonight. First half, well, look what they've done in the third quarter now.
Yeah. Yeah, they found their groove here for sure. Great spark from Rovon Banks Jr. Seemed like he got darn near every touch here at the beginning of this drive. Stone Earl, again, that last pass gave his big tight end a great chance on the back shoulder.
First down at the 11. Steady diet of Rovon Banks Jr. on this drive. And the numbers for Earl tonight, 16 for 20. 193 yards. In this quarter, he's 6 for 6. He'll tuck it and run. And then he goes down, avoiding a hit. He gets inside the 10. And there's the running ability. TCU was, and Andy Avalos, their defensive coordinator, readily aware of the opportunity to extend plays and make plays with his legs from Earl.
Well, and smart. That was a good business decision right there, you know, to be able to slide. Because a lot of times, man, the competitiveness takes over a quarterback, and next thing you know, he's knocking himself out of the game. They got to keep him in the game. He's having a fantastic game this evening.
Second down 8 for the Wildcats. Stone Earl, play action. Pressure off the edge, and sacked back near the 20. Pressure off the edge. And it's Kylan Jackson, the nickelback, on the blitz. 4th sack for the Horned Frogs.
That's just a great play call, just at the right time. Andy Avalos dials it up. You can see it right there. Nothing for Stone Earl to do. I tell you, you get that nickel delayed blitz every now and again. That'll do it to you.
3rd and long for Abilene Christian as Jackson sacked the LSU transfer. They pushed it back to the 17. They can get a first down at the 1. Play clock winding down. Stone Earl to the outside, and it's incomplete. Dallas Dudley lunging for it.
That's tough, man, because it's a totally different. You might have had a chance to take a shot in the end zone if you would have secured that catch. And that's been a problem here that they're going to have to get figured out as they progress throughout this season. And a couple drops last couple games, and here it's appearing here tonight as well.
They need to get this figured out too. They're
for sure
trying a field goal. This is Brandon Perez, who's missed one already tonight. And the left-footed kicker. High snap, and the kick on the way, and it is good. A field goal finally goes through, and look at the smile from Keith Patterson after they're able to nail the 3 points.
Oh, man.
I will say it's interesting to note because Hugo Nash, 33, their punter has been the holder. But he's been dealing with a shoulder injury. He got banged up against Stephen F. Austin last week. And as you see, he was back in there to hold this time. And you get a successful field goal.
It's funny you say that because the holder is one of the guys that no one really talks about and thinks about, but being a holder until it goes wrong, right? But I've been there, done that. To be able to take that snap, make sure that the laces are out, do it really quick and efficiently, have the ball tipped exactly how your kicker wants it.
It was all Dan Marino's fault.
Laces out. Oh, it's good to see them get one, though. I mean, that's been a struggle. So
35-9 now TCU with the lead. And a kickoff from Kyler Meskey. This is John Denman on the return for the Horned Frogs. To the outside, the freshman. 30, down the sideline, and he gets run out of bounds near midfield. Only the kicker. Meskey saving it from being returned to the house, but the burst by the freshman. John Denman on the return.
Yeah, that's right. It was a burst, and you see a little flash of his speed right here. Well blocked. You see the freshman leading him out, getting a nice little seal block right there. And if it wasn't for the kicker having good position, that might have gone all the way.
They're moving it back. They're saying he stepped out near the 40. And Josh Hoover wondering, well, why is it back here? Didn't he go out of bounds up there?
It's a good leader right there.
Nate Palmer checks in at running back behind Hoover as Joseph Manjack IV goes in motion. And they'll hand it off and hit behind the line, and a loss as Nate Palmer goes down. Chris Herpin knifing through. And tackle for loss, bringing down Nate Palmer, the redshirt freshman from Decatur, Texas.
Yeah, it looks like Rayshawn Miles Jr. also got in there, transferred from Northern Illinois. Let's go ahead and knifes himself in there.
Loss of 3, back to the 37. Hoover changing the play.
Rayshawn Miles Jr., 22 tackles last game.
And stride for stride, incomplete, trying to connect with Jordan Dwyer. And Tyson Williams well defended on the play by the corner for Abilene Christian.
And Tyson had a lot of tackles last game as well. 10 tackles, pass breakup. It's pretty good here. Perfect coverage, not easy to do.
Williams has been active, 8 tackles tonight. And the corner for Abilene Christian, leads them defensively in tackles, but some space, and this time connecting with Jordan Dwyer.
Well, that's exactly what I said, not easy to do. And again, they're going two dog, right? It's two man, so you got two safeties deep. Everybody else is bump and run coverage. And the wily vet, Jordan Dwyer, a great little go route.
And now the tunnel screen, and picking his way is Joseph Manjack, the fourth, across the 30.
It's like he was turning two right there. Josh Hoover, the baseball player. He actually told us he played the hot corner. I thought he was a middle infielder. Yeah, he's a third baseman pitcher.
But then he did fess up. He did play some middle.
And that right there was it, man. He's turning two. Looking back to Dwyer's catch, and yeah, they got a nice connection together early on in this season.
Here is Hoover on the rollout. Throws for the corner. In the end zone, it's caught. No, out of bounds. Juggling it and unable to secure the catch was Eric McAllister.
You know, it's funny talking to Josh. He's got that inner struggle, right? It's this constant tension with, do I drop it down to, you know, the guy in the flat? You'll see it right here. He's got a wide open guy in the flat, or do you just, I know he's covered, but let me just go ahead and drop it, a perfect ball in on the corner, and it's a good call. He juggled a bit.
And then his foot was on the line when he did secure it.
That was, and I mean, it was a perfect ball.
Third down for Hoover on the slant. Open is Dwyer. Inside the 20, first down TCU.
That's where it's tough as a defensive back. You got Dwyer beating you on a go route. You know, now he sets up that outside release, comes inside on a slant. Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
And Dwyer, a really interesting story. We talked to the coaches yesterday and to Josh Hoover about him, as Nate Palmer runs inside the 10. And Palmer brought down right near the marker, but was the second team all-league performer in the Big Sky last year at Idaho. And Dwyer showed up here, and for like the first month and a half, they weren't exactly sure that, I don't know what we've got here. I don't know if we brought in the right guy.
Until they get the pads on in spring.
And then they realized that, oh yeah, this is a dude.
We got the right guy.
Yep.
And it's funny because in the game of football, you could have someone in the weight room and conditioning that looks amazing. And all of a sudden you get them on the field and something happens where it doesn't really translate. And then you get some other guys that are a little bit different. It's like, hey man, I don't care what my 40 is, what my bench is. Just get some pads on me, stick me in the game, and I'll show you that I can ball.
Ninth play of the drive. Could he get a third touchdown tonight? Denied, stepped out just shy of the goal line. Ed Small, the freshman, another catch.
Can you imagine? As a freshman, already 2 touchdowns. They try to give him his third, but super efficient. The first half, he had 5 targets, caught all 5, 44 yards in those 2 touchdowns. Very, very efficient with his targets. Took advantage of every one of them.
And now his 6th catch tonight. And we'll see if they get this play out before the end of the quarter on 3rd and goal. And time has run out, and quarter number 3. We'll flip the field. We'll head to the 4th. TCU up 35-9 on Abilene Christian, with John Denman in the backfield with him. And they'll run it straight ahead, and the freshman Denman into the end zone. Touchdown, TCU. Second rushing score for the Horned Frogs tonight. Trent Battle has the other, but now John Denman gets into the act for TCU.
A nice little gift for his kickoff return. Remember, he's the one that started this drive with a 50-yard return. Just a great job up front, man. Kudos to this offensive line. Again, a veteran offensive line who's created some nice space for all the running backs that have tote the rock this evening.
Nate McCashlin for the extra point. And it's 42-9 TCU here early in the 4th. And the Horned Frogs offense, which has just been so in rhythm tonight, and again they find the end zone. Again,
It's just beautiful up front, and as a freshman getting in the end zone. A couple freshmen here tonight. You got Ed Small, John Denman. These freshmen here from Texas, where, of course, high school football in Texas is just different from the rest of the country. I was just driving past, it was like a huge stadium. It was a high school stadium. It was bigger than some college stadiums, man, across the United States.
TCU with 6 drives, 6 touchdowns tonight, 6 for 6. Now they'll kick it off again to Abilene Christian, as TCU led it 28-0 at the half. And after a 48-14 thrashing of North Carolina in the opener, it has continued for Sonny Dykes' team here tonight. And inching toward Big 12 play. Next week it'll be SMU. The battle for the Iron Skillet. Sam Bissessi will kick it off. And it'll come out to the 25 on the touchback for Abilene Christian. Is Abilene Christian the second FBS team they have played this year? They lost to Tulsa in their opener. They'll get back to the FCS level next week. They're ranked 13th at the FCS level. They'll host Austin Peay, but a team that expects to be back in the playoffs again at the FCS level.
Yeah, honestly, I've been pretty impressed. You know, the score isn't indicative, but, you know, I've liked Stone Earl. I like some of their, you know, their skill guys. I've been really liking Rovon Banks Jr.
Deep ball from Earl, and trying to come back for it, and a flag is down. The pass intended for Dallas Dudley. And there's 2 penalty markers thrown in the area, and all indications are it'll be a pass interference call.
Yep, Avery Helm.
Pass interference, defense number 24, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
3rd year here at TCU for Helm, who started his college career at Florida.
Yeah, that's a good call. There's definitely contact. He's kind of grabbing that right hand, and Dudley asking for it, and he was granted it.
At the 40 for Stone Earl, and they'll sweep it right with Rovon Banks Jr. Spins out of a tackle, and Banks continues to impress here in the second half.
He's got a different motor. I mean, it's 100% all the time. That's what I was saying. I hope he's got good conditioning, because he doesn't take reps off at all.
Gets another carry, tripped up before he could get going, and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage as Vernon Glover was in the backfield for TCU.
He's been definitely one of the bright spots, and as I mentioned, Stone Earl, I've been impressed with. He's made some good throws, used his feet when necessary. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the FCS ranks.
Second down for the Wildcats. Another handoff and stumbling. And then maybe some extracurriculars after the short pickup for Banks.
Big Elam Zor on the stop, transfer from Cal. The coaching staff was really excited about him too. Elam Zor is able to make checks, get people in the right place. And as a defensive coordinators, that's crucial to have a linebacker that is able to align everybody, get people in the right place.
3rd down. ACU just across midfield. Good protection for Earl. And he was able to get it complete somehow. He finds J.B. Mitchell to third. First down. That ball seemed like Todd was in the air for an eternity.
There's no way that he actually came down with that. He definitely bobbled it. He's able to corral it somehow. They go quick.
And straight ahead, inside the 30, down near the 25-yard line goes Jordan Vaughn.
Seemed like that ball was kind of floating up there a little bit too long.
It was off his back foot.
Oh my goodness.
Just tried to drop it in. Play action, Earl. That ball rifled incomplete. And the penalty marker comes flying in. And that'll be another penalty as Dallas Dudley, the intended target.
Yeah, that's Avery Helm again, I think, but I thought that was really good coverage this time. Tried that RPO, dropping that slant in again. I think Avery just knew that was coming and was just darn good blanket coverage. Maybe got a arm wrap.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
One more look at it.
They call him that on Bud. I don't think that's... Okay, I see the left arm. Yeah, they got the number wrong. It was Avery Helm again, but they're calling it on Bud. Bud's like, bro, I wasn't even in the play. Talking about. It was fun visiting with Bud Clark, wasn't it? He's just, you could just tell he's a good energy guy, one of the captains of this football team.
He's really grown up.
He definitely has.
Talked about in his time here at TCU. When he was way back as a freshman, he was the guy that wasn't necessarily always on time. Kind of had to worry about him a little bit.
Yeah.
But then he's matured as his career has gone on, and he has developed into a real leader.
False start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Right guard Caden Carr called for the false start.
Well, and kudos to Bud as well, right? Because a lot of times a coach will kind of have that moment, take you into his office and be like, hey, listen, I see the potential you have. Super athletic, tough as nails, but there's a couple things you got to dial in about your personal life and how you approach this game. And to his credit, he responded well. Even in our time with him, you know, hey, why didn't you go to the NFL right away? And he's just talking about continuing to mature, continue to be a complete package, and you see it out here tonight.
They'll run it, looking for a hole and fighting his way down inside the 20 goes Jordan Vaughn. But he's critical to this TCU defense, and a much improved group from a year ago for Andy Avalos in his first year. They made significant strides last year, and he's anticipating them getting even better this year.
That's right, and we talked about it already, but so much of the offseason dedicated to stopping the run. So up front, how do we get better physically? What type of fits are we going to do different? And so much effort in the offseason now translating here onto the field.
Blitz off the edge, incomplete, and there's a penalty marker down in the area where Stone Earl threw the football.
Yeah, that's going to be rough in the passer. It looked like Caleb Elarm-Zor might be called for this.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 3. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, you're going to take a look at it right here. You know what's funny, though, about that? I don't know how many shots that I took in college, way worse than that, no flags. Nowadays, it's like, man, you touch their little pinky finger, and all of a sudden you got 15 yards.
Different game back then.
It's a different game back then.
First and goal.
Oh, boy.
Abilene Christian, all their points since halftime and looking for more. On the move, Earl, and he slips it underneath. And a catch made and driven out of bounds is Eddie Henry, is escorted by Avery Helm.
Eddie Henry is a load, boy. I tell you what, he went ahead and dropped his shoulder into big Avery Helm. And Avery, he took it, man.
A couple of years at Houston for Henry, and these two tight ends for Graham Harrell can be weapons. You think of him as an air raid guy, spreading it out, letting it fly. But he's adjusted to his personnel, and he's been able to do that over his career.
That's right. He said he's probably going to have to use a little more 12 personnel due to the fact that they have got great tight ends.
And that's incomplete, pumping, and then right toward the feet of the intended target, J.B. Mitchell to third from Earl. And it's 3rd and goal upcoming for Abilene Christian. But Sonny Dykes, Graham Harrell from the Hal Mummy, Mike Leach, the connections that run deep, and of course Graham played at Texas Tech when Sonny was there. Joe Fulani on the Abilene Christian staff, also playing for Sonny Dykes when they were at Texas Tech. Sonny was his position coach.
What was the story about distributing the rock between 4 receivers? That was good.
Escaping, Earl looking, throws back across the grain into the end zone, touchdown. Eddie Henry for Abilene Christian.
There it is again. We've talked about this throughout the night, but that's all Stone Earl right there, man. He feels the pressure, extends the play, finds his tight end, and again, that's a wily tight end too, getting open in the end zone late.
And they're going for 2 here with 11:08 to go. So a 2-point try, and they spot it on the left hash mark here for the Wildcats. But Stone Earl's first touchdown pass of the year. And he finds Eddie Henry for the score. In the first couple of games, they lost 35-7, and last week against Stephen F. Austin didn't throw a touchdown pass in a 28-20 win, where they got down 14-0. And some trickery, and the ball comes out, and running it back the other way is TCU, but the officials throwing their hands up. The 2-point conversion try is good as Bud Clark racing back the other way for the 2 points he thinks for TCU. But
the ruling on the field is that the ball crossed the goal line prior to coming loose for a successful 2-point try.
It's such a buzzkill for Bud too, because he's like, dude, I thought I had the 2-point conversion. Oh, man.
Second straight week he was taking one to the house. He had a pick 6 against North Carolina.
Yeah. 2-point
try is good. Little trickery. It's Rovon Banks Jr. just nudging across the goal line for 2. That last 2-point try is under review. The ruling on the field was Rovon Banks Jr. broke the plane, and the 2-point try was good for Abilene Christian. Here's one more look at it.
Really good play design, but you're going to see right before he crosses the plane, number 9, that's Chad Woodfork for TCU, pops that ball out. This is a pretty good view right here. That left hand, look at the ball right there, right in the middle of the frame right there.
It was determined that the ball was fumbled short of the goal line. The try is no good.
But Sonny Dykes is going, wait a second here. We ran it back to the other end zone for 2. We should have 2 points, and he's talking to the officiating crew right now.
I mean, Bud Clark, come on, give him some love. That's a 100-yard run right there.
But the problem is, and I get Sonny's argument, Todd, but the issue is the play was ruled dead once they ruled that the 2-point conversion try was good. And the fumble right there at the goal line, and you can't advance it when the play is essentially over.
It's so interesting. See, I thought that they would, like, they wouldn't blow the whistle for that reason, because you never know, like, after video evidence, but Maybe you're right. Maybe you couldn't advance at that point. Nonetheless, they do waive the 2 points off.
42-15 the score, and here is on the return Ed Small for TCU, who's had a big night in the freshman with a nice return. Just over 11 minutes to play, and the Horned Frogs get the ball back. And we did mention, okay, the connections, it really is remarkable between the two staffs. Not just, okay, that Graham Harrell played for Sonny Dykes, but it runs deeper than that. Keith Patterson, the head coach of Abilene Christian. One of his mentors is Todd Graham, former head coach at Arizona State, number of stops, Pitt, Tulsa, Hawaii. Todd Graham is on Sonny Dykes' staff. And 4 different occasions, Keith Patterson was Todd Graham's defensive coordinator. Change at quarterback for the Horned Frogs. Ken Seals is in the game. The transfer from Vanderbilt, who has plenty of starting experience. And he'll throw the quick out, and it's Lafayette Kayue the catch. And the tight end turns it upfield, just shy of the first down. But Ken Seals probably as competent as any backup quarterback in college football.
Well, it definitely gives you a sense of security in the unforeseen case that Hoover goes down. You got a wily vet be able to come in and lead this offense.
Nate Palmer runs for a first down. But Seals making 22 starts at Vanderbilt. He is 7th in Vandy history in passing yards. Last year got into 6 games. And down the sideline and into Abilene Christian territory out of bounds goes Dozie Ezekonma, I should say.
Seals,
has a first down at the 49.
I think Seals set the Vandy freshman record, I think, passing yards, 1,928 passing yards as well.
Bunch formation for Seals. Throws it the other way, and it's underthrown and intercepted. And picked off by Abilene Christian, and a great read on it by Noah Mangum, the corner, with the interception for Abilene Christian. And the takeaway with 9:56 to go. Noah Mangum the pick, and Abilene Christian. Todd, they've been a different team here in the second half.
Absolutely.
(42-15), TCU leading Abilene Christian in the battle of purple on purple here tonight in Fort Worth. And we need to show you the helmet stickers that both teams are wearing here tonight. And those are paying respect and honor to those who lost their lives in the July 4th Hill Country floods in central Texas. And the green ribbon, you see it there on both helmets, both TCU and Abilene Christian. And that devastating tragedy over the summer down in these neck of the woods.
So sad. Yeah, I mean, just the devastation and the chaos. Just continue to pray for those families who suffered loss.
Touched so many lives, unfortunately. And heartbreaking when you hear the stories, and great to see the programs honor those. And the deep ball, it's complete, and a big play goes to Dallas Dudley for Abilene Christian. Another strike on the money from Stone Earl.
A little redemption there for Dallas Dudley. He had a drop earlier, man. Go ahead, redeem yourself, young man. Great play. Nice little 9 route. And again, Stone Earl has been on target this evening.
38 yards, and picking his way is Rovon Banks Jr. inside the 30. And Banks, who's up over 80 yards rushing, it's the second most he's ever had in a game. The career high is 143 for Banks back in 2022 against Western New Mexico. And another carry for Banks, and he backs his way through the line and picks up an Abilene Christian first down.
I think if I'm Keith Patterson, that's one thing that I like to see, right? Offensive line's new. Can they gel? Can they communicate? And right now they're opening up some holes here in the second half. And Rovon Banks Jr., as you mentioned, I mean, he's a guy that's got crazy effort, 100% every single snap.
Also, Stone Earl, a career high 259 yards passing now. And 1 touchdown tonight. They'll run it, and it's Jordan Vaughn to the outside. And right at the numbers, brought down to the turf.
Two good looking running backs here this evening for Abilene Christian. Love Banks. Also love Vaughn. He's a big dude.
Abilene Christian's now got over 400 yards of total offense tonight. And inside the 10, Abilene Christian. And they'll move the sticks, first and goal for the Wildcats.
You know, and TCU's getting some of their backups, you know, getting some of their number 2s, maybe even some number 3s in, which is always good. Under the lights, get some experience, get a good feel. You want to continue to add to your depth throughout the rest of the season, but Abilene Christian executing here this evening.
Eddie Henry motions. He has a touchdown catch tonight. And good surge up front by TCU and a tackle for loss.
Oh, golly. That was a collision right there now. Big Tristan Johnson getting up in the mix. With a big smile on his face. I love it. Always hated those collisions, man, with those big dudes. Oh.
The pretty boy quarterbacks like to ignore that. Stay away.
A couple Advil the next day, ice tub. Rub some dirt on it, get back in the game.
Second down and goal. On the rollout. Looking for the end zone, Earl, and it's behind the intended target. Trying to connect with J.B. Mitchell III. And that'll bring up third and goal for Abilene Christian.
It's a heck of a job by Jackson. That was good coverage. He's kind of right on his back. See it right here. He's right on his back. Good position. Swats it down with that left hand. He's got long arms, man. He's a young guy. Bright future.
Third and goal for Stone Earl. For the end zone, caught, touchdown. J.B. Mitchell III.
Wow.
And this strong second half for the Wildcats continues. Abilene Christian is over 250 yards of total offense since halftime. And Stone Earl is 21 of 28, has just thrown his second touchdown pass.
Well, again, Keith Patterson said, hey, I'm not so concerned necessarily about the score. What I am concerned about is the effort and the execution. And they haven't given up. I mean, even though the score's been a little lopsided and a little out of hand here going into the second half, I have seen great effort, Heck of an executed play right there for the touchdown.
Now going for 2 with Earl. On the rollout, Earl, and he tries to dart it in there to Jed Castles, is pushed out shy of the end zone. And the 2-point conversion is denied. 42-21. TCU with 6:40 to go. Trying to put the finishing touches on win number 100 for Sonny Dykes. (42-21) TCU after Abilene Christian getting into the end zone again. And they've scored all 21 points since halftime. They have played a strong second half. Now, granted, they were down, Todd, 28-0, but 260 yards of total offense since halftime. Very different feel for the Wildcats since the break.
Well, they caught a rhythm here in the second half, and yeah, 260 yards versus TCU only at 158. And Earl, 11 of 14, 162, 2 touches. He's been hot, man. That last touchdown pass, that was a beam, man. He put in there, perfect spot.
John Denman on the return, and he is driven to the ground right near the 20-yard line. So TCU, they're at the forefront of this recovery center that they have adjacent to the stadium here in their football complex. And this whole center cost about $50 million, and we were able to take part in the snow room, the only one of its kind anywhere. Yes, there I am going into the snow room. It is real snow, at least it feels like it. Like, you could ski on that stuff, and yes, I did go in there with shorts and a t-shirt.
How long could you last in there? That's the big question,
I could last a while. I was considering how hot it can get here.
Yeah.
Through the line, Nate Palmer, the ball carrier.
Probably refreshing for you.
It felt great. But that's only part of that whole recovery center and the athletic complex that they have here. Whether it's the sauna, the cold tubs, the hot tubs, the massage chairs, these high-tech red laser recovery center. It's amazing all the technology that's at the disposal of this TCU football program.
I loved when they come in from practice, drop the pads, and there was like that little car wash before they got in the cold tub. That was cool.
They'll run it and looking for a hole and keeping the legs churning in a first down run for Nate Palmer. Yeah, that cold tub lap pool, the car wash where you come on literally right off the practice field, and it's just like a car wash, really, that you go through and it cleans you off with all the water, and then you have a place to put your pads before you go through that. Then you hop in the cold tub, do a couple laps. You can take a look out of the practice field, and then you get out the other end of the cold tub and you go through the dryer.
Well, $50 million, man. I mean, that's a pretty big investment to keep your players healthy. And that's one of the big things that Coach Dykes talked about, though. One of their main goals coming into this season, right, to come out of training camp healthy, establish the line of scrimmage, and see a replay here, but bam! Great tackle there.
John Denman, the ball carrier. As a new TCU parent, as my daughter, yes, is a freshman here at TCU. I wonder if some of my tuition payments went toward that. I'm going to guess no, but you never know. Tripped up out in space is John Denman. Going to bring up a third down here for the Horned Frogs with 4.5 to go.
Well, if it's going to keep the football team healthy, it's going to enhance her experience here, you know, as she
it is a good
hangs out with her buddies.
I got to partake in it. You know, I felt like I got something for my money besides my daughter getting a first-class education.
Now, people love TCU, man. I'm telling you, the players that come here love the experience. They feel very well taken care of. Some of the transfers, that's one of the things they said is it's top-notch here at TCU.
Stepping up, and the pass underneath, it's complete to Terry Shelton. And the freshman brought down shy of the first down as Ken Seals the pass completed. And it's fourth down. But you look across the board, the great programs that they have here at TCU. Mike Buddy, the athletic director, has done a phenomenal job. When you look at, for example, men's basketball program, Jamie Dixon, Mark Campbell, the women's side, Kirk Sarloos took TCU baseball to the NCAA tournament. 9-win season for Sonny Dykes and a bowl win last year. Of course, not too far away from that college football playoff appearance.
Right.
First punt for Ethan Craw tonight, and the native of Tasmania, the Australian. And a fair catch made with 3:19 to go, and Abilene Christian gets it back. 42-21 Horned Frogs, who will turn their attention when the clock hits triple zeros to SMU in the battle for the Iron Skillet next week. And the Mustangs, who had a banner season last year, start this year hasn't been quite as special.
It'll be a huge game. It's an early kick as well, and for college students, to me it's a different deal. A night game versus 11 a.m. kick. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what team can get it started, get it cooking early, get that early momentum.
Of course, SMU about 40 minutes away, well, depending on traffic here in the Metroplex. And around the edge, Rovon Banks Jr. has had a huge night with a nice run for Banks. And speaking of cold tubs and an ice bath, that's what Banks will probably need
for sure
after this one.
For sure. He's been involved in several collisions here this evening. He'll need a couple passes in the ice bath for sure.
Just eclipsed 100 yards for the second time in his career. 2nd and 4. And again, it's Banks cutting it back and about a yard shy of the first down.
One thing you see about him too, he falls forward every time. I mean, he'll have a guy, 2, maybe 3. He'll move the pile, fall forward, and that's what you want in a running back.
One more time, it's Banks, and he has the first down, gets to the 30.
I really like the game that Graham Harrell's called here in the second half too. Even that right there, right? Like tempo, it's 3rd and short, go tempo real quick. Don't let TCU get set defensively, especially up on that defensive line. And they're able to pick up the first down. You see big George French, the second, 5th-year senior, transfer from Maine.
2-minute timeout. 42-21 TCU. Two-minute timeout in Fort Worth, and a 42-21 lead for TCU over Abilene Christian. With Todd Doxson and our ESPN crew. Roxy Bernstein with you, and Abilene Christians fought valiantly here in the second half, down 28-0 at the half. And their body language, I look at a lot of positivity for them coming out of this game against a high-powered team on the other side of the field.
Yeah, again, if I'm Keith Patterson, I'm very pleased about this second half and how we've executed our effort. Again, those were the controllables that he mentioned to us that he kept on preaching to his team. He's like, hey, guys, you know, this is what you can control. Let's focus on that. Let's not even really focus on who TCU is, what different players, what they bring. Focus on you.
He never even talked about TCU. He was locked in on his own team, and it had me thinking about all those times that I was listening to Bill Walton talk about John Wooden. And in all the years the 3 years that Bill played for John Wooden at UCLA, he only mentioned the opposition once.
That's amazing.
And they lost that game. They didn't lose often.
Wow.
But it was all about the process and what we're doing as opposed to what's happening on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about he wants to build men, right? He wants to build their character, all about service and leadership.
This is the upcoming schedule for Keith Patterson and the Wildcats. An Austin P game, then on Incarnate Word over in San Antonio. But the United Athletic Conference, and if you're wondering, well, what league is that? Well, it was kind of when the Atlantic Sun merged with the WAC. Like, you know those skits that would be on those late night shows? What if these two got together and had a baby?
Yeah.
That's essentially the United Athletic Conference is. If the WAC got together with the Atlantic Sun, which they did, and had a baby, it became the United Athletic Conference.
This is the offspring right here.
Yes. There are 9 teams competing in football in the United Athletic Conference. Last year, the league was won by Abilene Christian. And good to see the injured Wildcat Landon Roten, who's been down a couple of times tonight, get up and walk off the field under his own power. On the other side, we're in the final minute. We went through the projections of where TCU and their path to a college football playoff. 2 games in now. The blowout of North Carolina. Look, they're up 28-0, and they took the foot off the gas tonight.
Right.
In the second half. But what have you seen from TCU in terms of how they fit in the landscape of the Big 12?
You know, I like their balance of maturity and consistency, but also some young, fresh players, right? We saw a couple freshmen here for TCU that made plays tonight. Big Ed Small making some huge plays, and they got a lot of young talent, but this is a veteran group. Even some of the receivers they brought in, they've played a lot of football. And we talked to the coaching staff. It's one of the things that they really like. It's like there's so much experience on this team. Of course, Josh Hoover leading them. His maturity, you know, already graduated. He's in the building a lot. Has a great relationship with Kendall Briles, and that's going to be big for them as they head into the rest of their season.
Big hole in running for a first down is Jordan Vaughn for Abilene Christian. You saw the schedule. The only thing that concerns me, look, you're going to play a challenging schedule if you're in the Big 12. There's no doubt.
Right.
But I don't know if anybody has a tougher schedule than TCU does when you look at it on paper. And that's the only thing where I have a little trepidation about TCU.
Well, it's a plus and a minus, right? The plus is if you handle business, come to the college playoff, you know, committee, now you have a lot of weight in your schedule, so it actually works in your favor. But to your point, you could you drop one of those, and that could be hurtful.